I guess I'm live. All right, check this out. I don't know if I'll get any viewers or anything like while I'm doing this. Never gone live before. I just wanted to try out. This doesn't even work. I wanted to try out the microphone, learned that the microphone doesn't work on a MacBook, and I wanted to take a video from my computer to see how that worked as well. So I'm really just testing a bunch of stuff out here, but I'm also delivering some news of the day that eBay has announced that they are no longer going to charge fees on sneakers or shoes that sell for over $100. This is huge news. I'm going to try and keep this still for you. So this is huge news, and it's going to have a huge effect on the sneaker reselling market for two reasons that I can think of right off the top of my head. The first one is that obviously a lot of resellers are going to. This is move that was targeting resellers, right? It was targeting the sneakerhead reseller market. They're getting beat up by StockX, Goat, and even Amazon a little bit. So they're really trying to compete with that. And because of that, they're going to start offering no fees on shoes. And if you sell them for over $100, you won't be charged fees. So if you sell a shoe for $100, they're not going to take the $10, the 10% they normally did. Now, I'm sure PayPal is still going to take the 3% transaction fee. So don't expect to not get charged that, because PayPal and eBay are obviously separate. And I would expect more people to, I would expect them not to give you that, obviously, because that's a different fee. That's a transaction fee. But the seller fees and all that are gone. And people are like, well, how are they going to make any money on these transactions? Well, first of all, they got that deal with PayPal. PayPal is going to make the transaction fee. That's great. But the reason why this is brilliant on their part is because they will make more money, because now they're attracting a whole new buyer. And say buyer X only sells shoes. I can't be as demonstrative with my hands, I see, because then the screen shakes. But yeah, so so seller X sells shoes, right? And he sells only on StockX. Well, if you get seller X, excuse me, we're live, so I get the hiccups. If you get seller X to sell his stuff on eBay, chances are he might start selling some other stuff, right? So now that he's got a platform where he can sell more than just shoes, and his shoes are selling for free, he might throw up some clothes, some toys, some other stuff, and eBay is going to bank off of that. And that's all stuff that wouldn't have been listed if they never would have given this seller free, no fees on shoes. So right then and there, you can see how it's a brilliant plan by eBay because you just have to get the individual seller, right, to open up an account on your platform, and then you've got them, right, and then you've got a money train, and each seller is a money train, which you would think. This is just a side note that I just thought of. You would think that eBay would be a little bit more protective of its sellers because they value them. You can obviously tell that it's a huge part of their business plan to have new sellers opening an account, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be attacking or strategically targeting a specific type of reseller, the shoe seller, with this type of move, saying, hey, come sell this stuff that you sell on other platforms like StockX and Goat, come sell it here for free. And then, our kickback will be, number one, we'll probably start charging fees sometime down the road in the future. And number two, we will most likely get you to list other items that we can make money off of those items. And that's money that we never would have had. And so we organically created that by letting you sell shoes for free. And of course, the shipping's never going to be free. And the transaction fee through PayPal, the 3%, that's never going to be free. So they're still going to generate more revenue off of this move. And it's going to cost them nothing, really. It doesn't really cost them anything, because if you think about it, well, it will cost them this is what it will cost them. Every seller that was already on eBay that would have made 10% off their shoes, and that's a lot of money, but they're trading that for the new seller and everything that new seller is going to bring to the table. So that is huge. And that changes the other thing. But also, if you're just a sneakerhead or you like to find sneakers on the internet to buy, now, and I know that I love, and I've preached up the buying method of StockX with asks and bids, but now you maybe can buy a pair cheaper on eBay. And the thing with eBay when it comes to sneakers is always going to be the authentication. That's the part that makes me most nervous. I was just talking to my buddy Justin, who is exclusively just a sneaker flipper. He works full time and then just finds hot releases and flips them. And a lot of people do that. That's one form of flipping that you can get into if you're just a 9 to 5er or whatever. And you can make, an extra $1,000 a month or a week, depending on how aggressive you are at that. He just got the Yeezys Yeez Reel and the Jordan Breads both on the same day this past Saturday. And so he'll make a couple $100 just sitting on his couch on Saturday doing that. But the first thing out of his mouth when I told him this was, oh, well, it's still going to be fakes, and I would never buy a pair from there because I'm just worried about fakes. And I said the same thing. Years ago, like 2005, I bought a fake pair of Bapes off of there, and I was cool with it. Like, I'm cool with buying fakes, but not everybody is. And that's not, unfortunately, there are sellers out there that if you were allowed to sell fake and unauthorized merchandise, there are sellers out there that would try to pass it off as real. And that's where the problem lies. And also the problem lies that you're kind of ripping off the original parent company. I know they're a corporation. Who cares about all the money that you get from Nike or Adidas? But if you want to be a legitimate businessman, it doesn't matter how big you think they are. You can't do that to them. You can't try to sell. And this actually goes back to one of the first things I tried reselling on the internet was Chinese jerseys, NFL jerseys, and they got pulled, and I didn't realize why. And it's because they were fake, and I didn't realize that. And this was probably 10 years ago. I want to say it was like 2010, 2009 that I did this. And I ordered, I got one. What happened was I bought one and it didn't fit me. So I put it up on eBay and it sold for 3 times the amount I bought it for. And I was like, oh crap, I better go order a whole bunch more. Well, I ordered a whole bunch more. And that's when I first learned about that whole rule. I thought you could, as long as you were forthcoming about it and you were like, hey, don't pay $225 for this jersey, pay $75 for it, knowing damn well what it is, and you're going to get the same type of deal. And I was okay with wearing them because I hated buying jerseys for $225. And I think a lot of people are in that same boat when it comes to shoes. I will still go on Wanello and buy a fake pair of Yeezys to wear. I will never, ever, ever, ever sell those, right? And I'll buy real ones too, but honestly, the shelf life of these things, it just doesn't justify it. And as a reseller, I know that these prices are made up out of thin air. That's not a that product price of $220 on a pair of Yeezys isn't a production price. It does not cost them $205 to make those Yeezys, and they're just upcharging them for $15. No, it costs them probably somewhere around $1 or $2 to make those materials wise, and they charge $220 a pair, and that's why he's able to go from bankruptcy to back to being a millionaire billionaire within a couple of years. And that was how he did it with the 350s. But back to selling shoes on eBay, huge news today. And that was something that you can definitely capitalize on. No more fees. And just remember that the threshold is $100. So if you go and you have shoes that are already listed and they're at the 90, if they're anywhere in the 10% range of $100, I would just bump them up to $100 now, because you're going to give that money away anyways. So you might as well list those higher. You might as well try to get them above the threshold to not get charged fee. Because if you sold a shoe for $99 right now, you would lose $9.90 off the top, right? So you would end up getting $90 for that shoe that you sold for $99, right? You would get $89.90 is what you would make, right? But if you sold that shoe for $100, just $1 more, you would make $100. So you would make $10.10 more for selling it for $1 more. So that's why I'm suggesting to you right now to go on your eBay, check your listings, find out if you have any shoes that are selling that you have listed for about $90 to $100, and bump those all up to $100 or more. Bump them all up to 100 or 101, because you're just throwing away $10 if not. So that's something you need to look at. But also just remember that shoes are open season now on eBay. Start looking. Here's another strategy for you. Start looking on other platforms for shoes that are more than 10% below the threshold, knowing that you're not going to get charged fees. So if you can find a pair of shoes on Mercari for $85 and it's free shipping, and you know that you can sell those for $105 on eBay, you don't have to factor in the fees anymore. You don't have to say, well, that 105 is actually only going to be $90. So buying them for $85 only makes you $5. That's not worth it. But now it is, because you can sell them for 101, right? Like you can sell them for 101 and make 101, and you only paid 85 out the door for them. That's free money. Go scour the different platforms right now for shoes that are more than 10% below the selling price, the comp sold price on eBay. And those are all going to be free flips for you, because those fees are going to be mitigated, and therefore you can factor them into your cost, right? Like you can factor them into your sales is what I'm trying to say. So that's just one other thing you can do. No more fees, again, is what we're talking about. So there's going to be an influx of sneakers available on eBay. There's going to be an influx of sneaker sellers hitting eBay, and you can sell your stuff for more money on there as well. But definitely consider those things that I said, like going on, adjusting your prices. If they're close to $100, bump them up over $100, because you don't want to give that $10 away for free. And then on top of that, if you look at other platforms and stuff, and you see what's going on those platforms, you can find items that are selling for, I would say, in the 80. If they sell for 100 or above on eBay and they're selling for 80 or below on Mercari, you can buy them now. Previously in the past, that would only net you like $10, and that wouldn't have been worth it. Now I'm saying go ahead and do it, because there's no fee to mitigate on the other side. So when you make the purchase for 80, you're selling it for 100, you're getting 100, you're going to make $20. Just do that. Like, just go do that all day. And don't factor in the fee cost anymore. And that's all I can think of that's going to really, really hit home with resellers when it comes to this new rule. And I got to try out YouTube Live, which was great. I don't think too many of you came in here while I was in here. I didn't get any comments or anything, which is totally what I expected. But I just wanted to see how it worked, and how if you went live, you could post the video afterwards. So this video is going to be out here and saved for everyone to watch and see what's going on with. And that's really why I made it. It was just my normal video that I wanted to make, but I wanted to make it live. I was going to try and use this cool microphone, but then I realized you got to have all kinds of like splitters and stuff for the MacBook. Forget that. We'll take care of it another time. But thanks for bearing with me here. Wanted to test out live and everything while delivering some news to you that was pertinent to the flip game. So again, no more fees on shoes on eBay if you sell them for $100. So that beats the StockX 9.5%. That beats the GOAT 9.5%. And that, even though that I think I'm like at 8.5% on GOAT, because you can continuously lower your fee, it does eventually hit a ceiling. And eBay just said, screw your ceilings, and let's go ahead and just not charge fees. And like eBay's like, we're not even gonna try and be in on the cut on this. We're just gonna let people just have open season. So get your shoes listed now. Like, don't wait till eBay pulls this. Don't wait till they're like, oh, okay, we got all the sellers over here now. Now we're gonna start charging 15%. Like, that's how companies do it, right? That's how they do it. They get you in the door, and then they pull the plug on things. So be anticipating that, but also milk this cow while it's ready and while it's here. And, that's all I really got to say. In the meantime, subscribe to the page if you just found this video and you want to see more content like this. I'm always willing to answer questions via DM on my Instagram or on my Twitter. My Twitter is at Riley Eagles. That's all one word, REILLY Eagles, as in the Philadelphia Eagles, the team I love. That's me on Twitter. I do a lot of flip talking on there. It's almost 100% flip content. On Instagram, it's ShipFlip LLC. All I do on there is sell the products that I find. And they're very hot products. I only put like really cool stuff on there. And again, we're talking fees here. Because I don't sell through eBay on Instagram, then I don't charge the fees, and I get to sell it to you for cheaper. So anything you find in any one of my stores on any of the platforms, go ahead and go on my Instagram page and DM me and be like, yo, I want to buy that. And you'll get it for much cheaper. I'll give it to you for 10% cheaper anytime of day, any product. So go ahead and do that. That's ShipFlip LLC, all one word. That's my Instagram account. Go ahead and check me out on there. And then on TikTok, I'm Sean Riley _ShipFlip. You can find me on there under the hashtag FlipLife or under the hashtag ShipFlip. You click those hashtags, I'll be pretty much the one that pops up on that. I got almost 20,000 followers on there, or maybe 15, I forget, but it's somewhere in that range. So big following on there, and able to answer more questions and do more stuff on there for you. But in the meantime, keep on flipping. And I'm going to end this video hopefully by clicking this button.